Hello, beautiful humans. Just out walking, connecting to the land. Nice little energy cleanse. So, I wanted to chat about Saturn returns, the age of 27. Beautiful tree over here. Looks like it's been struck by lightning or something. Struck by lightning. Cool. Hi, tree. Gonna have to give it a wee touch, haven't I? Yeah, so the age 27, why the late 20s is such a strange age. And even more so if you're in your late 20s during this era, right? So this is 2025 for any future viewers. Oh God, that tree felt good. And why is it such a strange time? Not just the age, but this time that we live in, and why I think for so many people who are in their late 20s, it's almost like this, it's like a feeling of being overwhelmed and underwhelmed all at the same time. Look at this little white feather. How beautiful. And why is that? Like, why is it a feeling of being overwhelmed and underwhelmed all at the same time? And well, basically, let's start with the Saturn return. So in astrology, you have the planet Saturn, and the planet Saturn rules themes such as time, maturity, order, structure. It teaches us perseverance. It's like this harsh teacher that we can only learn the lessons through persevering and through learning patience with Saturn, because it's a slow moving planet. So it rules entire generations, and it takes 30 years to do a full lap of the zodiac. So basically, round about the age of 27 is when you will start to feel Saturn move back into the sign it was in when you were born. And what happens when it moves back into the sign it was in when you were born is that you will start to feel this energy of restriction, of feeling like you have to grow up, you have to kind of get your shit together. It can almost feel like time is running out, or like the walls are closing in. Some people also describe it as this. How beautiful is this cloud over here? I can't zoom in, but gorgeous. And so its whole purpose, Saturn's whole purpose is to help us mature, to help us identify the blocks in our lives, like what is holding us back. So many white feathers. What is holding us back? And how do we, it really allows us to see through the restrictions that we feel is imposed on us, where we actually want to put our energy, what we want to put our energy into, what is important to us, what is blocking us from achieving our goals, right? And when we work with Saturn, when we learn how to work with it, it's a really, really powerful planet. I'm a Leo, so I struggle with slowing down. I have my moon, my sun, my Mercury all in Leo. So I like to be active. I like to be expressing. I like to be creating and having things to look forward to and being social. And Saturn's energy for me has taught me and is teaching me that everything can't be fast and like cause and effect all the time. You do this thing and it creates that thing. It's like, if you want sustainability, if you want security, you need to learn how to slow down and do the work that's boring, that's mundane, like your admin, like updating your website or creating a website, or planning your finances or making a 5-year plan. All things that to me, with stellium and Leo, I don't want to do that shit. I'd rather be seeing clients and planning workshops and planning retreats. So Saturn is really pushing me to do the boring stuff. But in the boring stuff, I've actually become really grounded and kind of enjoying this process of creating slowly and learning how to create a solid foundation for growth. So it's actually a really, really, really great planet to work with. And so depending on what sign your Saturn's in, it's going to feel different for you. But how that's going to manifest is going to feel different rather. So for me, I have Saturn and Taurus in my 5th house. Now, Saturn is quite nice in Taurus because Taurus also really values structure and stability. So it's really teaching me how I can create structure and stability in my life and have a firm foundation so that things can really grow from there. And so because it's in my 5th house, the 5th house is all about expression, creativity. It's also your inner child and also romance and playfulness. So Saturn and Taurus in the 5th house, for me, it feels like learning how to allow my inner child to be free and have fun, but to also adult at the same time, which is a great thing to learn, right? But for anyone, regardless of what sign your Saturn's in or what house it's in, when you have your Saturn return, this is why, like, around the age of our late 20s, we're like, what am I doing with my life? You know, like, should I go and do a master's? Should I go to university? Should I drop out of university? Should I start my own business? Should I quit my job? Should I leave my relationship? Should I start a new relationship? Should I relocate? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to live? What do I want to do? Like, it feels like a lot is going through the brain because you're essentially trying to figure out what is the best way to set up a stable foundation. And in a world where it is increasingly more difficult to be able to be self-sustainable, self-sufficient, because of how expensive it is to live, because of the pressures, the social pressures, it's a different world. Like, especially here in the UK, most of my friends, we're just out here winging it. Like, we're following what we love, following our dreams. Why do my lips look blue? Putting your energy into what you love doing is much more satisfying, fulfilling, than just following the structure of what society teaches you. This is what you do to achieve success. So Saturn feels, if you don't work with it through your own energy, it can be the worst transit of your life. If you work through it through a very traditional lens of, because I'm at this age, this means that I need to save all my money and do what like our parents' generations did of get a house, and there's your house, I'm locked in, I have safety, I have this mortgage now, this is my property that I own, and I have this job, and that's me, I'm good, I'm sorted. Are you though? Are you good? Like, this is the old system. It's very Pluto and Capricorn. Pluto is not in Capricorn now. Pluto is in Aquarius, and it will stay in Aquarius for a long time. And what Pluto and Aquarius is teaching us is regeneration, death and rebirth for our awakening, for doing what lights us up. Aquarius is the change maker, it's the trailblazer, it's the rebel. So it doesn't want to do the same old shit and be on autopilot, It wants to be inspiring hope and creating new systems and innovative systems that fuel the youth of today, it's not these old Capricorn systems of, well, this is how they did it, so this is how we're going to do it, and this is how you have to do it. That shit is dead and gone. And this is also why people going through their Saturn returns right now, 27, 28, 29, it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, because the old way is no longer, it's not fulfilling us. And it really pushes you to think, what do I want? And for me, I'm like, okay, I want to travel. I want to run my own business, get to a point where it is sustainable for me to earn enough money and just travel, work online, do some client work where I'm traveling, and just be able to have enough money to live that travel life and enjoy life. Like, that's what will light me up. I want to be meeting new people. I want to be immersing myself in new cultures and learning new things and just exploring. That is what my heart wants. And then we're in eclipse season. So then I'll have these thoughts of, but to do that, I need to stay home for a year or maybe longer. And I live very rurally, as you can see, which is gorgeous. And I'm lucky that I can afford to travel around Scotland and see my friends. But then I sometimes think, maybe I should move back to the city, because then I will have community right at my doorstep, and there's more amazing fun things happening, and there's opportunities and creative things going on, and I can tap back into my old kind of creative outlets that I've maybe not tapped into for a long time because I live where I live. So it's like another timeline, right? I'm like, maybe I should just move to the city. But then it's like, if you move to the city, all your money is going on your rent. It's very, very hard to save. I probably wouldn't be able to afford to drive a car. So then I'm kind of stuck in the city. Like, it's a hard time being in your late 20s during this era. Because the world is a completely different fucking place. Completely different than when our parents were this age, So we can have all of these timelines, and then another timeline, which is so like this, kind of like this fear timeline, but also the elder inside of me is like, I could do that. And then my inner child comes out, it's like, no, we can't. Is maybe I should just settle down and find myself a cute little flat somewhere near here. It'll be really cheap, and work on my business for a few years and then go away traveling. My soul literally can't. It's like, girl, no. It would feel so starved of community and connection and creativity that I just simply couldn't do it. So because it's eclipse season, this is where we start to realize all of these paths present themselves to us. So our subconscious is always processing, and it's kind of like, which path is gonna lead me home to myself, is gonna not just lead me home to myself, but find new homes within myself, find new excitement and passion and joy and fear and mystery and all of the beautiful things it means to be a human. And for me, it comes back to what I already knew, what I already wanted to do, right? It's save and then go travel, go live that life. But yeah, I just want to share this because I think there's so many people in their late 20s, and all of us are looking at each other thinking, I should be doing what they're doing. I have friends who are, maybe they're privileged enough to have wealthy parents or parents that are supporting them and can help them out financially, and so they're able to get quite a lump sum of money to go and buy put a deposit down for a house, which in the UK is anywhere between 10 to 20k, if not more, depending on the size of the house. Girl, if someone gave me 20k, I'm fucking booking a one-way flight, and you know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will invest some money in my business, but to me, that's freedom. That's a plane ticket, But my point there is, like, we'll always think the grass is greener, So the people who are getting houses and settling down, they'll be looking at the other half of us who are saying, fuck that shit, I'm gonna go travel. And they'll be thinking, God, I wish I had the confidence to go and do that, to solo travel, to get out of my comfort zone. And then the ones who are traveling and getting, because to me, travel's not out of my comfort zone. Out of my comfort zone is staying put. So then to us, to people like me, we're like, God, maybe I should grow up and learn how to be more of an adult, and maybe I should save money and just settle, right? So that's my point. It's never gonna be, this is the whole kind of purpose of being alive. This is why we change and transform. because there's so many options, and because yeah, we just always think, I don't know, that the grass is greener on the other side. Or like, even when I was in my last month of traveling this year, I was excited to come home, you know. After a while of traveling, if you've been on the go for a long time, you get tired. You want somewhere to just sit and chill and be in your own energy, in your own home, with your own comforts. Grass is greener, right? Then you get home and you're like, fucking 2 weeks later, get me back over there. So if this is you, if this resonates, if you're in your late 20s and you're just thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Where am I going? It's okay. You're exactly where you should be. This is the true purpose of life. Like, we're not supposed to know where we're going all the time. It's good to have a plan, but it's good to let go of the reins. Things are supposed to change. We are supposed to change. We're evolutionary beings. We're energetic beings. You're not just your physical body. So, yeah. Hope this helps.